What is going on, everyone, and welcome to a Dose of Magic Live, the live show where we're talking about all things Walt Disney World Resort. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Brad.
and Happy New Year to everybody listening, to everyone who has listened, and to anybody who's new and joining the show. Welcome, and we definitely welcome you in the new year. Brett, how was your new year? What's going on?
Yeah, New Year was good. Stayed local this year, which was really nice. So went to two coworkers' places. So overall, had a really good night last night. Go into this morning as we're recording on the first. But yeah, did well. Had a good New Year's. How was your New Year's?
Ours was very low key as well. We stayed home. Julie was off of work, which was a big win. So we ended up just spending the time together, and we ended up spending time with her niece who was home from school, and she didn't want to stay with her grandparents or with her mom. So we ended up saying, "Hey, come over, come hang with your cool aunt and
Very
uncle."
cool.
And so she ended up hanging with us, and we had a little party in the house this year, which was, I'll tell you, front row seat, unlimited drinks. It was nice. It was good, very relaxing.
Very cool. Very good. And Christmas for you was not as planned.
I know, I know. Julie and I were sick for Christmas this year. Truly a 48-hour bug. We both had a 101 fever and a stomach bug. So we couldn't keep anything down, couldn't eat anything.
Dang.
It was absolutely awful. We did not get to exchange with our friends or family. So everything has been rescheduled for us. So it's kind of like an extended holiday because we have a couple family exchanges coming up, which we're excited about.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So not the ideal plan, but all in all, still saw everybody. It was good.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone is here because we are doing a Disney trivia frenzy this episode. This is something that we have not done ever for this show and for this new live platform. So, what we're going to
Yeah.
do is have three other guests come on this show. It's going to be us as the hosts, and three other people are going to be competing live head to head with trivia, and you're going to try to answer as many questions as possible. So let me go ahead and send out the links to get them to join us backstage. But while we do that, Brett, how was your Christmas on the actual day itself?
Yeah. Christmas itself was delicious and very good, full of food. Anytime, well, we start Christmas every year off at my wife's family, Autumn's family's house. And her mom makes these like delicious casseroles and stuffed blueberry French toast, which is out of this world. She makes it once a year. She makes it every Christmas morning, and that's it. So I absolutely love Christmas morning because I get that delicious meal. And then exchange gifts. We saw some in-laws, some family, and then we went to Dad's house.
Nice.
And then saw them and hung out there for a few hours, and then we were done. So
Cool.
yeah, pretty low key. We have Mom's Christmas in a week or two. Um, Everybody's kind of converging into one location as everybody's kind of scattered around the country right now between holidays and travels and living. So
Yeah, it's tricky.
we, like you said, extended holiday coming up in a few weeks. So all in all, holidays were good this year.
Yep, holidays were a little bit different on my end, but I look forward to getting to exchange with you this year because we haven't even done our brotherly exchange. And
I
so we
know.
look forward to that coming up in a couple weeks. Looking at our chat, Happy New Year to the Chef Block boys. What's up, Vinny? Happy New Year. Hello, Kara.
Hello,
And
hello.
Ryan, I did give your kids the stomach bug. If they are down for the count right now, that
Virtually.
was me. That was
Gave it to
definitely,
them
definitely me.
virtually.
All right, we have a couple folks trickling in backstage. Looking forward
Very
to
cool.
this.
Very
We're
cool.
going to try to get really nitty gritty with some of these questions. I tried to think of some questions for everyone that wouldn't be too much of a giveaway or a dead giveaway, and really challenge your thought both on the fly and the pressure of live. You know what I mean? We have a little bit of
Yeah.
an audience here, so we have a little bit of a pressure when you're thinking on the fly with these questions. So we will see. Looks like we're waiting for one more to trickle in.
Very cool.
But
Yeah, I
in the
was going through
meantime,
these questions.
yeah, what do you think of them?
Ryan found all the questions, so I even was quizzing myself. Um, hey, our guests who are backstage right now who can hear, you're in for it. I think it's going to be some good questions.
Yep.
I think that it's a good combo, right? There should be ones that, if you're a true Disney fan, you get it, pretty simple. Some other ones are going to test the knowledge.
Yep, and that's the goal. And that's the goal. So it looks like we have still just waiting for one more, but while we do that, why don't we get into competitor introductions? We'll give everyone a quick chance to jump on here and say hello. So first, we are going to welcome CJ to the stage. CJ, you should be able to see us right here. Let's put you in the hot seat. How are you?
Hey guys, I see you. I hear you. I am doing well. How are you?
We are doing well
Good.
as
Hanging
well.
in there. Welcome
Hanging.
back too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you guys again.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
for those who are longtime listeners, CJ was one of our first guests way back when we were just starting a wee podcast baby, a little egg, and she was on it with us. And we definitely appreciate you sticking around and still staying in the community with us, and now coming back to test your knowledge. So
Of
great to see
course.
you.
Good to see you guys too.
Remind
Very
everyone
cool.
where you're calling in from.
So I live in Winter Garden, Florida, like maybe 3 to 5 miles west of Walt Disney World. So I should be hearing the fireworks go off in like a couple hours.
Oh my
I am
gosh.
so jealous. That is so awesome. CJ is known on Instagram as the Weekly Mouse. And so, as the name suggests, she is there daily, if not weekly. It should be the Daily Mouse because that's how it feels. But
Yeah, that's how it feels sometimes.
exactly. But she's wonderful. CJ, why do you think you could win this?
Well,
Ooh.
I'm a pretty competitive person, and my degree's in history, so I'm a bit of a history buff, and I have a really good eye for detail.
All right. I love it. I love it. I
Awesome.
think knowing you and knowing your knowledge, I think you are definitely going to be a good competitor for this. But thank you for giving a quick introduction. Let's get Brandon here on the stage as well. So up next we have Brandon coming in here. Brandon, can you hear us? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
hey.
Hello.
Brandon, where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay, nice.
Ooh.
We got a
Pretty close to
northeastern.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm from Pennsylvania originally, but I am here in the D.C. area now. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're very glad to have you. Brandon, why do you think that you might, be a good competitor tonight?
So I mean, I'm super competitive. You know, Disney fan at heart. Hosting a daily Disney trivia quiz on my own personal Disney Instagram, Exploring
Ooh.
the Galaxy.
Ooh.
So if you want to check that out, also Disney travel agent. So I have that Disney knowledge of the parks that I feel like I can really dive into tonight.
That is, I don't know, CJ. That's some good competition there.
Wow.
I was hearing her introduction and I was like, ooh, I don't know how well I'm gonna do tonight.
That is awesome. I still don't see. We had one more Gregory joining us. Don't see him yet. Maybe he will trickle in. But we have two good competitors that we're going to move forward with. We have Brandon, the travel agent, does
Good.
Disney trivia daily on his account, and then we have CJ, the weekly mouse herself, who goes to the parks each and every day. We are going to have a good contest here for everyone.
Yeah. So anybody watching in the chat right now, give us who you think is going to take home the victory. I am going to keep track of how many correct answers each of our contestants get here tonight. Unfortunately, I think we're just playing for some bragging rights tonight.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some bragging rights to be taken home.
Yep, absolutely. This is a first trial, as we said. So this could
Yes.
either completely crash our system by having, the bandwidth of multiple people, multiple guests on while streaming at the same time, or we could end up having a really great show and it'll be something you tell your friends and family about, which is what we are hoping as the first show of 2024. So without further ado, Brett, do you want to explain quickly how the rules will work? Because this will be now a head-to-head style.
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring one of our contestants onto screen at a time. And we will see how many answers in a row they can get before getting one wrong. Once one is answered incorrectly, we will bring the next person out and they will try to get as many correct in a row as possible. And then we will alternate back and forth going through all of our questions or as much time as we have. So their goal here is to keep getting it right, right? If you get it right, you move on to the next question. If you get it wrong, you head backstage until you get brought out again, potentially, if we have the time.
Yep, that sounds good. And we had some votes coming in. Brett asked the chat, who do they think might win? We have Autumn saying CJ has this in the bag. I don't know. Brandon, let's see. We have Michelle also saying it could go either way. So she's really looking forward to the battle.
There we go.
That is awesome. We are looking forward to it as well. Thank you for explaining the rules, Brett. That was perfect. So let's jump into it. Let's get our first question going. CJ, we're going to bring it back to you and put you on the hot seat. So let's get her on stage, front and center.
Okay. Channeling my Disney knowledge. I have to say, though, I spent 30 years living in Southern California. Disneyland is more my jam than Walt Disney World. So we'll see how this goes.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that. You're somebody who has seen and appreciates both coasts of the Disney worlds, Disneyland, yes. Disney World. And so that is a unique perspective. But I will give you a hint for this one. We're really only talking about Disney World. So cut off the half of your brain and stick on the East Coast.
All right. I got like the east side of my head ready to go here.
Very good. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. First question. What is the absolute oldest attraction in the Magic Kingdom?
The oldest attraction. I feel like this might be a trick question. Is it the Walt Disney World Railroad?
Oh, that is a great guess. Unfortunately, that is not correct. And so, as per the rules, CJ, you're getting quickly booted, and Brandon gets a chance.
That was so quick. Get a chance. So
get the chance to come on and steal the point here. Brandon, do you happen to know what the oldest attraction is at the Magic Kingdom?
It's the Prince Charming Carousel.
That is correct. That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. That is a point to Brandon. A quick start there. That is right. I feel like it's kind of a not a trick question, because that's often a ride that I think many people overlook when they think about attractions in the Magic Kingdom. A lot of people think Small World. They might think Pirates, something like that, for example. But yes, the carousel, the Prince Charming Regal Carousel, is the official name of it.
It was built in the 1920s.
There you go. Giving some background. That's awesome. Cool. Brett, jump into the second one. Brandon stays on the hot seat.
Your next question. How many happy haunts inhabit the Haunted Mansion?
999.
That is correct.
Way too easy for him. That one he knew right off the cuff. And this was definitely one where if you are a frequent goer of the park, a frequent rider, and I think CJ definitely would have gotten this one as well, as someone who probably goes on this one daily with her children. That is 999. That is correct.
Represent. Can't even point to it.
And I apologize. We do have these questions that are coming on the screen. So we're going to put them on the screen next time so that everyone at home as well can see them and answer them. So here is number 3. Brandon's still in the hot seat. He has 2 points right out of the gate. What president gave a famous speech at the Contemporary Resort?
The panic has set in with the hand across the face. We all saw it.
Kennedy.
All right, his guess
Kennedy,
John F. Kennedy himself. Unfortunately, that was not correct. And as per the rules, Brandon, you are out of here. But CJ comes in right to the hot seat. Let's see, CJ, what president gave a famous speech at the Contemporary Resort?
In my best impression, I am not a crook, Nixon.
That is correct. Correct. Oh, we had Nixon on the podcast for a second. That was pretty good. That was very good. That is correct. President Nixon gave his famous "I am not a crook" speech at the Contemporary Resort. So that's pretty interesting. And I know last episode, Brandon gave us the fun fact that the Beatles broke up at the Polynesian. And so that kind of inspired me to look at what else happened here. And somebody actually chatted into us later when they listened to the episode and were like, hey, I heard about the Beatles. Did you know about this with the president at the Contemporary? And I didn't. So I added it. So this was actually a user submitted question, which was great. All right,
CJ, your next question. What happens to the Grand Floridian gingerbread house after the holidays?
After they throw it out, I mean, it's sale.
Throw it out, stomp it, put it in.
No, wait. Can I change my answer?
Ooh.
We need to go to New York and review this one. Brett, what do you think?
Oh, wow.
Okay, we'll allow it.
This might be wrong. Do they feed it to the animals at Animal Kingdom?
I actually like where the brain was going on that one. Do they feed it to the animals at Animal Kingdom? Not necessarily. So that is unfortunately incorrect. But we are
no.
going to get Brandon a chance. What do you think, Brandon? What do they do with these gingerbread houses after the holidays?
Okay, so I'm taking a wild guess again, but it has something to do with bees and repurposing it for bee population and stuff like that with all that sugar and whatnot. Is that?
That is
That's
absolutely
correct.
That is nice. Nicely done. Way to pull that out of the depths of your brain. I'm sure you saw that like one time. You're probably like,
one time, and it just like stuck all the way in the back. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this useless knowledge for something.
Yeah, it's like that's like one of those like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I don't know if I'll ever do that again unless I'm on a live trivia show all about Disney. So nice job. The answer is that they give it to honeybees, the honeybee colonies, and they let them just devour that. You're exactly right. The sugar, that is
Wow.
like an absolute sugar high for them. So you could imagine all of that. They break it down and give it away, which is cool. So CJ is
Interesting.
very close. Very close. All right. Jumping into the next one. Brett, quick score update. Where are we at with the scores here?
We are anybody's game still, very early. We are Brandon 3, CJ 1.
Okay. Brandon 3, CJ 1. Doing a quick check-in. We had a couple guesses coming in from the chat. Elephant conservation. We're going to have to make these questions harder for Brandon. He's coming in way too quick. And the impression, CJ, got a lot of love. That is awesome. Nixon himself in the chat. All right, jumping into it. Next question, Brandon. Which resort used to have a railroad?
Ooh.
The campground at Fort Wilderness.
That is correct. Way to pull that one out. I didn't feel like you were fully confident on that.
Wasn't.
But I
totally wasn't.
But I love it because that is really, I guess, the logical one when you think about it, because you can't really hide a railroad anywhere else, and it doesn't really seem to fit all of the themes. But that's correct. The Fort Wilderness Campground did used to have a railroad that I don't believe is functioning anymore. No, CJ is saying no. She definitely would know, being on boots on the ground. She is saying that is not the case. All right. Go ahead, Brett. Shoot him with the next one. Well,
All right. Whoa. Between what two countries is there another entrance into Epcot?
This is between France and England.
That is absolutely correct. Again, France and the United Kingdom has another entrance into Epcot, or an exit, depending on the route and the
It's
park.
the best way to
opportunity.
enter the park. Truly the best way from the Skyliner.
Exactly. And we've actually had a couple people who mentioned that coming in that way and starting their drink tour is the best kept secret. I don't know if I agree with them, but we'll see.
You have to give it a
We've
try.
heard
You
that.
truly do.
Yes. We've heard that one a couple times, but Brandon, nice job. You get to stay in the hot seat. And here is your next one. True or false that the Tree of Life has over 300 carvings on it?
True. 325.
Not the
That
exact
is-
answer.
Yeah,
The perfect number.
that is correct. And is this something, again, that you just have heard over and over and you knew?
You know, I am that ringer when it comes to trivia nights with the random Disney knowledge. During COVID, you know, me and my best friend hosted a Disney trivia, weekly thing as well. So it was one of those fun facts you had to pull out sometimes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, it seems like we
I
may
used to
have
go to
stolen-
trivia every Monday, and I was praying for the week that there would be a Disney week.
right?
It was never. It was always like, name the artist of the 1934 music, and I was like, I have no idea. I was useless. So
We do the same thing. And then as soon as a Disney question comes up, our friend group just looks over at us and goes,
just looks at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes, Ryan, you know it? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. All right. So you get to stay on again. Here
Right,
is
we
your
go.
next one. Go ahead.
In what month did Magic Kingdom first open in 1971?
October 1st. It's my birthday. Can't forget that.
Wow.
That is an easy
Who
one
picked
to
this
remember.
guest?
Yeah. Easy one to remember. I definitely know that CJ knew this one as well. She's chomping at the bit to get back on the hot seat.
Yeah, she
This is
is.
definitely one where you either know that opening date by heart down to the day, probably down to the time it opened, by the time that ribbon was cut. But that is a good answer. October 1971, the Magic Kingdom opened its gates. Well, let's keep chugging along. He's in a
Let's
rhythm
keep
here.
going.
The famous It's a Small World song goes, it's a world of laughter, a world of what?
Truth.
That is a good guess. Everybody knows the tune as you were doing it. I was doing it too, but that is incorrect. That is not the last word there. Getting CJ on here. Welcome back. CJ, what do you think for this quote or this lyric?
Okay, I'm down to two possibilities. It's either fear or tears.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with tears.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears is
Oh,
correct.
hallelujah.
Point for
Nicely
CJ.
done.
Hallelujah.
Nicely done. That's one of those ones where you get the tune, and then you're like, that last word, it could rhyme with so many things. It could be joy,
Yeah.
it could be fear, it could be tears. I don't know, but we have Autumn laughing at the hum from Brandon. It's the hum. That is awesome. Ryan,
We all did
guessing
it.
with fears as well. And quick guess, but it's actually tears. So CJ, you got it right. Your
Oof.
gut was correct. And
job.
as always, go with your gut. That is a rule of thumb.
Yes.
Quick little 2024 pro tip for everyone. Go with your gut.
Yes. Resolution. Here we go. Back in the hot seat. Your next question. What is the name of the famous tree in Liberty Tree Square?
Oh, see, this is the stuff I don't really know very well. And I know when I hear it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
I know that I know there's 13 lanterns in it for the 13 colonies. The tree.
Brandon has had his
Is it
hands on
just
his
Liberty
face.
Tree? Is it just Liberty Tree? That's probably not right.
That
It
is correct.
is.
No, that
Oh
is
my
correct.
gosh.
That
Hallelujah.
is correct. It was kind of a trick question. We were hoping that you may overthink it, that whoever was on the seat at the time may overthink it, but that's correct. The Liberty
Okay,
Tree
good.
is the famous one in the Liberty Tree Square. So nicely done. And yeah, you're right with the lantern. That's pretty cool. Wow. All right. I was nervous for you. I was like, oh,
I was nervous for myself. Okay. I'm a textbook overthinker. So this is like the perfect trick question for me.
this is one of the questions where you of course you know it, but when you're on the pressure of a hot seat, it's like it slips from your brain, that type of
It
thing.
sure does.
All right, Brett, hit her with the next one.
All right. Disney cast members who operate the Jungle Cruise boats are given what title?
Skipper.
That is
Skippers
also correct. The skippers of the Jungle Cruise boats, not just cast members, but specifically they are called skippers. So nicely done with that one. Again, probably one that you do almost daily. Do your children like that one?
They are both really into animals. And since they redid the ride, they kind of updated it a little bit. One of the skippers on the pole where the rhino's chasing them is named Skipper Felix, and my son is Felix. So they talk about like, oh, there's Skipper Felix like being chased up the pole. So we're like, look, it's you.
Oh, that is awesome. That is so cute.
Mhm.
That would make my childhood as a kid if my name was like part of a ride. That would be like so magical. That would be awesome. CJ coming for a comeback. We have Autumn rooting for you. That is awesome. All right, jumping into my next question for you. What color is Figment, the imaginary dragon?
Well, I don't know if you can see there's like the figment
Uh-oh.
feet up here on the popcorn
Uh-oh.
bucket, and it happens to be my favorite color, purple.
That is correct. I was again hoping that this was one where people were like overthinking it. We're like, oh, is he blue? Is he purple? I think there's some yellow in there. And so that is correct. He is purple. And if you had the popcorn bucket, how long did you wait for that one?
You know, I went on like the second or third day before they sold out. So it was only like a 40-minute wait. And then later on that day, they sold out. So I was like, yes.
Oh my God. Do you ever listen to our episodes and you're like, I'm the person that they're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, she gets to the part where we're like, why would you stand in line for an hour for a popcorn bucket? And she turns it off. She's like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. No, that is awesome. And that was a perfect question for you if you had it right there
Yes.
in the room.
A score update has been requested, so I will be here to provide.
Good call, Michelle.
Brandon, who is off stage right now, is still sitting in the lead with 7. CJ in the hot seat right now, coming back with 5.
5? Yeah, that's
So
I was
we
gonna
are
say she's
neck and
definitely
neck
on the
still.
tail.
Oof.
So that was good. Thank you for requesting the score update. I did need one as well. These are coming in
There you
quick.
go.
That's why it's a trivia frenzy. All right.
Here we go.
This next one, I was hoping we had a range of knowledge of trivia, of Disney trivia. So this one you may know as well pretty easily. What does the acronym of Epcot stand for?
My favorite park, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
That is correct
is
as
correct.
well. I know that that one was going to be easy. Again, I was either hoping that people would freeze up on the spot and be like, "Oh, what does that P stand for?" or something like that. But that is sometimes one that just gets ingrained in your head. And I know Brandon
Yeah.
definitely knew that one as well. That seems like a common trivia question for, we'll say, the outside Disney population. The insiders know that one, but the outsiders, that's like, oh, I've heard of Epcot, but I don't really know what it stands for, that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right. This one might stump you, though. What was the first Disney park built outside of the U.S.?
Tokyo Disneyland.
Without
sure?
hesitation.
I am sure.
That was
Okay.
awesome. I thought this was for sure going to be a hot seat kicker, getting whoever was on a streak to get out. But Tokyo Disneyland, that is correct. That is exactly right. I did not know this one. So as I was picking questions, I was like, oh, that's a really cool, like that'll be a good one. Kind of get us out of the mindset of the Walt Disney World, but the Disney parks as a collective. Yeah. And that did not stump CJ. That is good. Very, very good. All right. You're staying hot. So let's see it. What attraction in Walt Disney World is larger than all of Disneyland combined?
I'm pretty
Combine
sure.
the brains.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Bring back the brain.
I'm pretty sure it's the Kilimanjaro Safaris. I'm gonna go with that as my final answer.
That does make sense. That does seem pretty logical.
Yeah.
And that is actually correct as well.
Correct.
Yay.
Nicely done. Thinking about the footprint of that ride, absolutely gigantic. Going back to a couple episodes ago when Brett and I were doing some fun Jeopardy, the question came up, what is the largest Disney park? And really, those safaris carry the reason that Animal Kingdom is so large in its footprint, because it's just so many acres of land to mimic the wildlife, the natural habitat. Jump into it.
All right, here we go. What is the name of the lounge singer at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe in the Magic Kingdom?
I'm blanking a little bit. I can picture him in his little tufted hair and his little toes as he like kicks and plays the piano and sings. Oh, Sunny Eclipse.
That is correct as well.
I was thinking Sunny Ray. No, that's not right. I was like going through the options in my mind.
That is exactly correct. I'm glad you got that one because I think that might have tied it up. Is that correct, Brett?
CJ's now in the lead.
Yay!
Yeah,
She takes the lead. I wish I had a visual that I could like keep on the side of the screen
I
and like
know.
have it inching up and the seesaw, because this has been a battle. We had a prediction that this was going to be a battle, and it was correct. Go ahead, Brett. Hit him with the next one.
All right. True or false? Pirates of the Caribbean was an opening day ride at Walt Disney World.
False.
Are you
That is
sure?
correct.
I'm
Oh,
very sure
we
it
do it every
was.
time.
Because
Trying
they
to
wanted
trick
it to be the Western River Expedition, and everyone was like, well, where's Pirates? And so they felt public pressure to put Pirates in there.
we
Verbatim, that is correct. That is exactly
Yep.
what I read today when I was looking up some facts. And Brandon with a gesture. Did you know that one? He said yes, he
Gets
did.
thumbs
So
up.
that one is a stinger to hear, but not be able to get. But nicely done, CJ. That is correct. This one is one that, in my mind, I do consider it almost like an opening day one that I do consider to be what we'll call an OG.
Mhm.
But it unfortunately came out in, I think it was 1973, a couple years after. So not quite the opening day attraction.
Okay. Your question or my question?
This one is going to be you.
Okay. Here we go. What theme park was built most recently?
Just in Walt Disney World?
Yes.
Okay. Animal Kingdom.
That is correct.
Yes.
Very good.
That is correct. I don't think.
Do you know what year?
1998, April 22nd.
Okay. Yep. That was
Okay.
right.
Okay. In all transparency, I went on a run today and I literally listened to a podcast that was talking about the history of Animal Kingdom. So the date and the year is like really fresh in my mind.
That is
Wow.
perfect. That is perfect. She knew she was coming on today, so she was, warming up, going through all the trivia
Right.
podcasts, the fun fact, the history. That is cool. That's very cool that you knew it down to the date, because that is correct.
It's Earth
1998.
Day. So that's kind of cool.
That makes sense. Makes it easier to
makes total
remember,
sense.
at least from a date perspective. But
Mhm.
nice job on the year too.
Thank you.
Oh, she studied up. Wow, CJ is on fire. I know. Will
I just
Brandon
have all
get that?
these things in my head, and sometimes they just, they gotta come out.
Yeah, that's right. I'm laughing too at Ryan talking one question ago at Sunny Eclipse. He always has leaking oil out of his face.
You know what? I don't know if that's oil or like tears of joy. He's like, oh, I get to perform at Magic
true.
Kingdom every day. It's the best
Every
job
day.
ever.
Yeah, same day over and over. Let's get this bread. Just gets plugged in again.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome. And they talk about that behind the attractions. I think that was to Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's pretty cool.
Very
Okay.
cool.
My next question for you. What two sports held their seasons in the Walt Disney World bubble during the COVID pandemic?
I know for sure one of them's the NBA. We were we were like looking at houses to buy out here while the parks were still closed, I think, or like right after they reopened. And I remember like Coronado Springs was like barricaded off, like nobody could get there because that was one of the NBA locations. The other one, golf?
Ooh.
Actually, a very good guess, because golf was one of the really only things that you
Mhm.
felt like you could do during that time, because it was outdoor.
Yeah.
And so that was one that could technically feel like it could continue, but it was actually the MLS. Oh, that is a disqualification from me, the host. The host, Ryan, gets kicked from the seat. I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining.
See ya. No, I'm just kidding.
I should not have.
Oh, now you're on the stage.
I'm
That's
a
right.
host now.
Ryan.
We have to kick CJ for that one. That is a loss. Brandon, because I did say it, I will award the point just
Award
by
the point.
default. That was my mistake. I got excited. I was ready to get into the answer.
I was getting ready to say soccer too, and I'll take the points regardless, but
Yeah.
Points
Just let it be
awarded.
known on the record that he knew it. He knew it. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe I spoiled that one. That was just caught up in the moment of the
It was the
lie.
energy. It was the energy behind. I know this one. I know this one.
Yeah, exactly. She was so close. And golf actually was a phenomenal answer. That's a good one. But it was MLS and it was the NBA that played in the Disney World bubble.
Okay.
All right. We have a couple more. I want to say it's about 4 more questions. So we're coming down to the finals here. Brett, what is the score update?
So it's important that we go over this. We have 3 questions left. And
Yes.
our point differential is 3.
Mhm.
Okay.
So here's two situations here. One, if Brandon goes on a hot streak, we tie it up, right? Situation number 1, CJ and them are tied. Right. Situation number 2 is we're out of questions, dude. So I'm gonna have to find a question that we're gonna make like a tiebreaker or something.
Yep.
But let's see if we have to get there first.
Yeah. You know what? For the sake of the drama, I hope we do. But I know CJ had a hell of a run, so we'll see if she can keep that lead
Yes.
going. So, all right, let's jump into it. Oh, no. Ryan is no Alex Trebek, but we still love you, man. Thank you. That is funny. Slipping up with the answers, the worst trivia host of all time, trying to give the answers before the contestant. Okay. Jumping into it, last 3 questions. Let's see how you do.
No pressure.
Brandon, how many nights did people have to stay for the Star Cruiser Hotel experience when that was still a thing, of course? Rest in peace.
It was whatever the fancy word is. 5.
Okay.
All right. I heard 5, which we're going to translate to 5. And so we're going to put that in for 5 days. And that is actually not correct. You are correct that it did have a minimum, but
Yeah.
let's see what CJ thinks. CJ, do you remember how many days the people had to stay for this experience?
Yes, because it was very expensive for the number of nights that you had to stay. And it was 2 nights.
2 nights.
It was 2 nights.
That is correct. That's exactly right. 2 nights minimum stay, and I think it was the only stay you could
Yeah.
do. I think it was like a
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah, because they
scripted
did like that
experience.
story thing
Exactly.
that reset every
Yeah.
few days. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
and no
unless
one could
you-
see this, but
Go ahead.
Brandon just did a full spin in their chair once the answer was revealed. So
That's awesome.
I had
Yeah,
to point that out.
that's true. That was a good guess because he knew that it was a minimum amount, but CJ gets it
Yeah.
right and keeps it going. And Michelle from the chat knew it as well. I think it's 2, and that is correct. All right. Down to the last 2 questions. My heart is racing for you. So let's see how you do it.
Here we go. What show used to be where the current Frozen sing-along celebration is in Hollywood studios?
Oh, see, I didn't. Okay. So my first visit to Walt Disney World that I remember was the year 2000. But I didn't go back until 2014. And we went every year, but we didn't move here until 2021. And I'm not a big fan of shows. So this is kind of hard. I don't think it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I don't even know if that was a thing here in Florida, like it was in California. Oh, I think there was a Drew Carey sound effects show. I'm going to go with the Drew Carey sound effects show, which I'm not sure what the name was.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll accept it as the Drew Carey
Oh!
sound effect show. I'll accept the answer, but it is incorrect. That is not what was there. So let's see if we can get Brandon back on the stage. Brandon's
American
dancing.
American Idol.
He's
It
jamming,
comes
he's
in
dancing.
immediately.
American Idol. That is correct. It was the American Idol experience. And Brett, do you remember when we used to watch this together?
Dude, I was actually just about to say, I remember, so I don't, if anybody's listening, I could be explaining the show completely wrong, there would be like 3 or 4 different like shows and auditions throughout the day. Right. And like the winner of each show came back at like the evening show. And then that was all your winners for the day. So basically it shortened down the entire American Idol experience to one day. And I actually thought that was a really cool idea, but it probably sucked for the people to be like, oh, like I'm just randomly going to start singing. Like, oh, we have to screw dinner plans now. I got to be back at Hollywood Studios to like win.
But that was
like,
that experience at that park though.
Yeah, I guess, but like
falling and singing, and you know, it wasn't
that's
actual
true.
or wanted to be the studios itself. So
that's when it had a theme and a concept behind it. So
yeah, that's right. That is correct. And you actually explained that really well, Brett. That's how I remember it too. You know, throughout the day there were smaller shows, and the winner of each show would then come and perform. Either that, or it was somewhere like you could audition earlier in the day and then you would perform at the main show at like a specific time, something like that. And that's actually kind of cool because that's one of those things where people around you are so talented and you would have had no idea. But then all of a sudden this, you know, mother who's a, you know, mother of a family of 6, and she's belting out Adele or something like that right in front of you. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's actually kind of cool. We were just standing behind you at Space Mountain. So that is pretty cool. And I almost wish that they brought something back like that, where they had a little crowd interaction and almost like a talent show. That was kind of cool. But so does that mathematically give Brandon the win or not quite yet?
No, I'll be behind by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We'll play the last question just for fun. And this is not a Disney World question. I will give you that. This is going out of the realm here. Put on your Disney movie cap. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. What is the highest grossing Pixar movie of all time?
Coco.
Ooh.
Absolutely love that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, glad that you said that just to bring up Coco because I could talk about it until
just gonna love it,
right?
Because I'm passionate about Coco. That's a good guess. Brett, do you happen to know this one? Without, I guess.
No, I was gonna say no because I'm staring at the answer.
Yeah.
But before this, I did not know. So
okay. Well, we're gonna give Brandon the boot, and we're gonna get CJ a chance to answer this one. CJ, do you happen to know what the highest grossing Pixar movie of all time is?
I don't. And I was surprised. I don't. I was going to take an educated guess here. And I'm basing it off of my own experience of going at midnight to see this movie in theaters with my friends, because it's like, you know, a pretty nostalgic movie for people of a certain age. Toy Story 3.
Another good guess.
But it's just a guess.
But
great guess.
Correct.
Great guess.
Not correct. Oh, no.
Not correct. So I actually think that this answer is pretty disappointing. Like, I would not have said this movie in all of the history of Pixar.
Yep.
Except for Planes. The correct answer to this is The Incredibles 2. With $1.2 billion domestically and worldwide.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, why? That's my question, is like, how and why?
I felt the same way. CJ, I actually thought when I was looking and I saw the question quickly in my head, I was like, that's probably one of the Toy Stories, at least one of them, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. Those just have such a chokehold on everyone, nostalgically, new, in the parks. It's just such an absolute iconic series. And I also thought the same. And then I saw that it was Incredibles 2, which just comes out of left field. Not that it's a bad movie. I actually absolutely adore the first movie and the second one. And there was such a gap between the first one and the second one that maybe that's what this reasoning is, that because people came in flocks to see it. But that is interesting because I would never have guessed that The Incredibles 2 is going to beat something like Toy Story 3, something like Cars, and something like Coco. That is interesting. We have a couple guesses. Toy Story 4, Finding Dory, Inside Out. What's the top five?
Great question from the wife here, and I just put up the top 5.
Let's read them.
Number one, Incredibles 2.
I disagree.
I disagree. Number 2 is Finding Dory. Number 3 is Toy Story 4. And number 4 is Toy Story 3.
Wow.
So they're up
5 is Inside Out. Yeah.
there. You go.
So great guesses. And we were up there. Coco, for Brandon's question, is ranked 15th.
What? No way.
No way.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Great,
really
great
surprising.
outdid Coco.
Everyone go out and buy Coco, please, because that's crazy.
Maybe I'll get my
Can you
point
tell
back.
Can you tell me the lowest earning one?
Bugs Life.
I would guess The Good Dinosaur.
Ooh,
Ooh.
great
Good
guess.
Dinosaur is in the bottom 3. We're looking at Onward as
Perspective.
the lowest grossing
That
one.
didn't that come out during COVID though? So
It did, and it
It was
went
a
right
straight
to
to,
Disney
it was
Plus, I
straight to
think.
Disney Plus. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was straight to
Wow.
streaming. Yeah,
That's
And
that's
then
sad actually
Lightyear.
because I love that movie.
I forgot
do.
about Lightyear. I haven't
Lightyear's
even seen Lightyear.
23 out of 24.
We have not
Oof.
seen that. What's a good
Ooh.
dinosaur, Brett?
It's a good movie. No,
It
The Good
is.
Dinosaur is it's basically if the meteor never hit the planet.
No, sorry.
Um,
What's it on the standings?
Oh, I was like, dude, you never seen this?
Pitching me the
I'm
movie.
not here explaining like the most iconic Pixar movie. Ryan's like, what's Finding Dory? No, 22 out of 24 for The Good Dinosaur.
That's a shame. Justice
Yeah,
for The Good
yeah.
Dinosaur.
Dude,
Yeah.
Elemental did better than that. Yeah. All right.
Really?
I can't look at this list anymore.
Yeah, no, thanks for looking into that.
No,
That
we're
was
done.
fun. That was
Yeah, no
fun.
problem.
On the spot. Incredibles 2, maybe because the cost of movie tickets were higher. It's actually a pretty good point because the
Actually
question
good,
was the
yeah.
highest grossing. So if we're looking at the math, that does actually, I guess, make sense.
Yeah.
But the fandom, we want Toy Story.
Bring
us
it
Toy
back.
Story. Yeah, we want to recount. So
Oh my
that is
gosh.
fun. Wow. CJ, Brandon, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This was an absolute blast. You guys were absolute
Yes.
troopers going head to head. It was a battle. You brought your armor, you brought your jousting sticks, and it was good. That was
It
very,
was
very
good.
good.
Final score: CJ 11, Brandon 10, unanswered 1. So
I love
pretty good for having 22 questions. At least one of you knowing 21 out of the 22 answers was pretty impressive. So great episode, great joust there.
Thank you.
Thank you. And GG, Brandon. We will meet again for another trivia showdown.
That's
Thanks,
right.
y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Perfect.
This seems like it worked really well. Everybody seemed to hear each other and the audio seemed to be good. So we're hoping that it turns out the same way on the streaming side. So please let us know either in the chat, send us a message, leave a review, let us know what you guys thought of this style. And if it all goes well, maybe we'll do it again and maybe we'll put some wagers on it. Maybe we'll put a little prize on it
Ooh.
and get the pressure really amped up. So that
Yeah.
could be in the future. All right. Brett, why don't you take us home one last time?
Well, so a rematch has already been called, so we will definitely be seeing you two back here on the episode. But for now, that will wrap up this episode. We want to thank you all so much for either hanging out here live or tuning in later and giving it a listen. We appreciate the support, whatever platform you listen on, whether that's Spotify, Apple Music. Please be sure to give us a review. It's completely free, and be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms that you love: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at A Dose of Magic Podcast, where Ryan will post every day or as much as he can about this week's episode. Aside from that, we appreciate you all, and we will catch you next episode.
Thanks, everyone.